Hi Kinder friends! Last week and this week we have been learning about plants and flowers. This week I get to do a craft with you, and this project is going to help us understand the four parts of a plant. Before we get started, let's just quickly review what are those four parts. I have here a poster that will help us understand those four parts. So one part of the plant is the roots, and you see them growing underneath the ground. We also have the stem, and the stem helps the plant. It holds the leaves and the flower. After the stem, the last part we have is the flower, which is the top part. So let's get started with our project. For our four parts of a plant project, you are going to need an empty paper towel tube. If you don't have one of these, you can also use two of the toilet paper tubes. You will need some scissors, crayons, or markers. All right, friends. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to cut our tube into four parts. But first, we're going to cut it in half. And for this part, I would like for you to ask an adult to help you because it's a little hard to cut. So if there's an older brother or sister or mom and dad, please ask them to help you with the cutting. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to cut my tube in half. And half means that at the end, I'm going to have two pieces. I cut them in half. All right. Now I have two pieces, so I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cut this piece in half as well, like this. As always, making sure that you're being safe. And I also have another one that I need to cut in half. So now I have four pieces. We call this fourths because I've cut them into four separate pieces. And if I were to put it again all together, it will make one whole piece. So now that I have four pieces, now I'm ready to create the four parts of a flower. Okay, friends, now we're ready to do the first part of our plant. And I'm looking at the chart to help me. And I'm noticing that the first part of a plant is the roots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the roots on my first part. And roots are usually really thick on the top, and they get thinner as they grow out. So I'm going to show you right now how I'm drawing my roots. Okay, they're something like this, and they're a little like stringy on the bottom. Okay, now just like we do when we do our little diagrams or we do our drawings with Mrs. Gillespie, we're going to label this part of the plant. And this part of the plant is called the roots. Now, just like in writing, we're going to sound out each sound so we can write down the letter. So r, r, r. I hear an R because r, the R makes that sound. R. Ooh, ooh, roo. Well, this was a little tricky, but that ooh sound is made by the double O. Like it now. Ooh, ooh. Roots. Root. Roots. And I hear this. And so I've labeled my bottom, the roots, the first part of the plant. Okay, let's keep going. Now the second part that I'm going to go ahead and draw on my tube here is the flower stem. And the flower stem, or the stem, I'm sorry, it holds the plant, holds the leaves and the flower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a long, tall line here to show the stem. Okay, and like I said before, the stem holds the leaves and the flower. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to go ahead and label this part of the plant, and I'm going to listen closely to the sounds so that it can help me write the word stem. So I'm gonna label it now, okay? St, st, st. So it's like two sounds. I hear st, st, st. I hear an S and a T. St. Okay. Eh, eh. Vowel sound, eh. Now that's an E. St, eh, mm. So I hear my M at the end, the sound of M. So now I have gone ahead and labeled the stem, and I'm going to stack it up here just so you can see. You can see my roots on the bottom and my stem. Okay. Oh, you might need help with that. I might need to put a little bit of tape there, but for right now, you can see it's the root and the stem. So now we're ready for the third part of our flower, which is the leaf of the plant. And leaf make the food in the plant. So again, I'm going to go ahead and grab my green marker, and I'm going to draw a little line so that it can continue. Actually, let me make it a little longer because I need to draw my leaf. And a leaf, I'm going to draw a leaf here on one side and on the other, like so. Maybe color them in. And I'm also going to do the same on the other side of my plant here on the stem. And I'm going to draw that. Color it in. And just like before, I'm going to label this part. And this part is the leaf. The leaf. So I'm thinking about what sounds I'm hearing. Hey, that's the letter of the week. L. Leaf. So that is the L sound I'm hearing. E. L. E. E. Oh, I hear an E in there. Now this one, you don't hear it, but it's a vowel pair. It means there's two vowels together. It's E and an A. So I'm going to put the A there, leaf, because the E and the A make that long E sound. Leaf. And I hear, that letter is F. So I'm going to go ahead and label that leaf, right? And I'm going to go ahead and put it on top of my stem. And hopefully it will stay together here. I might need to use a little bit of tape. So now I have my root, the stem, and the leaf. Now we're ready for the last part of our plant. The fourth part of the plant is, you're right, the flower. So now that I have, for my flower, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little line because it's going to connect to my leaf part. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little, let me switch markers. I'm going to do a little bit of a green, and then I'm going to use yellow for the middle part of the flower, which carries the seeds, right? Like in the tiny seed that I read, the book. I hope you guys were able to listen to it. So I'm going to do right there a yellow dot there for the middle part of the flower, and then I'm going to draw my petals. And since my favorite color is purple, I'm going to make my flower purple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the petals. And so you could just make like a circle, like an oval. And I'm just going to go around and around and around and around and color it in. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and label this part of the flower. And the flower, like I mentioned before, carries the seeds, and it helps to regrow new plants. Do you remember the tiny seed, how the wind blew it away? So I'm going to go ahead and grab my black marker. I'm going to label. And just like before, I'm going to listen to the sounds to help me spell out flower. Okay? So let me hear what I'm hearing first. I hear the letter. That's right, F. So I'm going to write L. A letter of the week. So I got right there. And now I'm listening to the sound. Ow. Ow. Well, those are the whiners, we call them, because they sound like if someone hurts you, like, ow. And that is O, flow, and W, flow. R. I hear an R. But before the R, there's an E. Call them like the bossy R, because you really can't hear the E, but you hear the R. Flower. So I've spelled flower. I've labeled it. Okay, kinder friends, I went ahead and I stacked up the 4 parts of a plant. And as you can see, they're there. I used a little bit of tape to help me have them stay in place. Now I have a special song that I want to teach you that I learned from another kindergarten teacher that will help us learn the different parts. It goes to the tune of The Wheels on the Bus. As I'm singing, I'm going to point to the part, and you can follow along as well at home, okay? It goes like this. The roots on a plant grow underground, underground, underground. The roots of a plant grow underground. Roots are part of a plant. We're going to do the same thing with the stem, okay? The stem on a plant holds up the leaves, up the leaves, up the leaves. The stem on a plant holds up the leaves. Stems are part of a plant. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with the next part, which is leaf. The leaves. The leaves on a plant are making food, making food, making food. The leaves on a plant are making food. Leaves are part of the plant. Okay, now we're going to do the last part, which is a flower. Oh, just like my beautiful flower right here. Are you guys ready? The flowers on the plant are growing seeds, growing seeds, growing seeds. The flowers on a plant are growing seeds. Flowers are part of a plant. Oh, kinder friends, I hope you enjoyed making this craft today with me. I know I did. Now go ahead and teach your little sister or brother or your parents the different parts of a plant, and also sing them the song, because that's going to help them learn it. All right, goodbye for now. See you soon.